G'day traders, Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading, and today, Sunday, November the 6th, 2016 in Perth, Western Australia, just going to go over the global currency charts. We have the US election in 2 days in November the 8th as the American public go to the polls with Mr. Trump and Ms. Clinton. A lot of global markets theoretically have been told they're going to be plunging into turmoil if Donald Trump wins the race for the White House, and several theories, different analysts, everything else. But let's go look at the charts and see what the charts say. So as we look at the euro, we can see that the euro has just bounced off of the 10900 level and immediately rejected that, but we're in a bit of a range bound pattern as we head into the election, and unless we see a clear break above this falling resistance line or below, I think the first area we're going to see tested on both sides is either the lower level down at the 10500 level or that upper boundary up towards the 11600 level. But as you can see, when we step back and look at these weekly charts, all this talk of volatility and everything, as we found with the Brexit, and we'll talk about that in a second. If you step back and look at these charts to look for some clear direction, the market has been starting to consolidate in this last few months, but more so in the last year. It's clearly had a range-bound market, and then more recently been finding support down under that 11400 level. So we look at the Swiss franc, and we saw some selling off occur at the beginning of the year, and that market has now sort of found some rising support, but we're moving potentially into a flag pattern, and we may see that market break out and do a measured move. Again, unless we see something clearly break either boundary, I would be looking for that market to still stay and work its way into this point. The election may be a catalyst to see us see a breakout in either direction. We've had the false break above that level, above the 99.50 level, so potentially we may see this market pick up steam and capitulate to the downside. British pound, as we know, selling off from the Brexit vote, but heading into the year, we did see the market selling off anyways. We saw it break below that level at the end of the year of the 4900 level, 14900 level, and then of course broke the previous year's lows. The Brexit vote merely retested that range and then capitulated downward again, and we've seen another leg down again. Most recently we've seen that market break back long, and there has been theory that the Brexit vote will be challenged in the Supreme Court, so we'll have to watch and see if this market does find support around that 2300 level, or if the market will again roll over and go south. Aussie dollar, we've got a range-bound market that's just now been established and heading sideways. The market did gain some strength earlier in the year, but we've seen it become more range-bound in the last few months. And unless we see a clear breakout above the 7800 level up here, or below that 7440 level, again we may see it retest these upper and lower boundaries depending on where the break occurs. New Zealand dollar has been very buoyant the last few months, and again really since the beginning of the year we've seen it break out of last year's range, found support and kept going. It's definitely into a second phase of a measured move, and so we will probably see that market retest those upper borders around the 7500 level, and even potentially last year's highs at 7750 area. The yen, US dollar, very weak over the course of the year against the yen. We've seen that marginal new high occur, and again we may see another leg down in that yen, depending on, again, not I don't think is any direct consequence of who's elected, but we may see that the market uses that as a catalyst to have another drive downwards as that US dollar weakens. Canadian dollar, we've seen the US gain some strength in the recent months, but it was sold off quite heavily at the beginning of the year, consolidating and forming a bit of a rising wedge pattern, and possibly again we may see a measured move, as that could be a bit of a bear flag. So again, watching, we've got a marginal new high occur right now. We'll be watching that market closely over the next couple of weeks. And on to the Mexican peso. Now the Mexican peso has been the one currency that they have pegged to be hit the hardest, and potentially up to at least a 25% fall against the US dollar, which would send this chart strongly northward. And you can see that the US dollar has been gaining strength the last 2 years quite strongly against the peso, and most recently we've had that marginal new high occur, and it's pulled back inside of that range, and we're just in that holding pattern now as we wait for some direction. And again, the election may provide us with some clarity and a break of one of these two levels to either continue that bull run of the US dollar, or see that roll over and possibly retest some of the previous lows from the last 12 months. Australian SPY 200 index. Again, I think it's fair to say we're now in a bull phase of the market. We've been getting lower lows, lower highs, and I think that we will probably see this lower border 4640 tested. We may find some support somewhere in that 4920 range. Again, the next couple of weeks will probably give us some clear direction on that, and until we see one of these levels broken, I would still say that this market is in a bear phase. Look for that lower end to be tested, and possibly even down at that 4870 level. 4640 level. S&P 500, looking at the weekly chart, we've seen a fairly strong sell-off the last couple weeks, starting back on the 4th of September. And this is a weekly chart, but these lows down at 1980 seem very realistically possible to hit now. But again, over the next couple of weeks, we'll probably see some short-term volatility. Going out to that monthly chart, you can see that a bit clear, that the market is definitely sort of, found resistance around that 2150 area, and we'll have to look around that 1980 to see if the market's going to step in and create any support. If we don't see that, we'll probably see those lows down at the 1800 level retested, and that could definitely be sending us into some interesting times in the markets. Looking at gold, monthly chart again, we've seen that wedge formation breakout at the beginning of the year. That market ran up to the 1375 level, but it seemed to have found support down at 1200. So 1375 and 1200 is the range for now. If we see one of these levels broken, we may see that market continue south to retest old lows, which could definitely send gold somewhere down towards possibly even testing that low from back in 2007 at 680, or we could see gold find support and have another leg up to retest those highs from the 2011 area up at 1795, 1800. Crude oil, Brent crude, again we've seen oil struggle over the last 12 to 24 months. Found some support in around that $25 to $30 range. It's been finding its legs over the last 8 to 9 months, but definitely found resistance and selling up at that $52, $53 range. Found support up at the $41, $42 range, and currently we've just seen that market roll over quite strongly. We'll go to the daily. In the last couple weeks, we've seen some heavy selling occur with the oil markets, and again we'll be looking for some kind of direction to see if buyers are going to step in at the $45 level again and give that market some support to retest that $52 range. So interesting times, traders. Despite what the news and the media say, you can certainly step back and have a look at these longer time frames to look for some clarity in the charts and some direction. The longer the time frame, usually the more reliable the break and the move of the market. So as you can see, when there's a breakout or a trend occurring, these markets will tend to follow through on that, retesting old lows and old highs. So hopefully you got some value out of today's video, traders. Interesting times ahead. We'll review this again after the election results are finalized. Looking to see some direction in all the world markets as the world waits to see who the next president of the United States will be. Stay disciplined, traders. Stay focused. May the markets go with you. Hi traders, it's Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. If you haven't done so, please head over to my website at staceyburketrading.com. I create updates on almost a daily basis, and I would love for you to receive them. Just click on the blog. If you want to enter your name and your email address, I'll send you my free audio program, the 7-Step Daily Routine for High Performance Traders. This is essential knowledge for all traders in all markets, and this is for helping traders to master the market with discipline, confidence, and a winning mindset. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. As always, traders, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.